Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what we're about to discuss is a move that could reshape the landscape of the NFC East and, more importantly, dramatically bolster the New York Giants' defense. We've been hearing whispers, rumors, and now some solid reports that the Tennessee Titans, currently sitting at a disappointing 1-6 and struggling to find consistency on both sides of the ball, are making a bold move. They're trading away Roger McCreary, a talented young cornerback, to the Giants in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2025. Yes, you heard that right. The Giants, already battling injuries and inconsistencies in their secondary, are making a strategic move to reinforce their back end and add some much-needed playmaking ability. And this isn't just about adding a player, it's about shifting the entire defensive dynamic of the team. Now, why is this such a game-changer? First, let's talk about McCreary himself. He's only 25 years old, but this guy's already shown flashes of brilliance on the field. Standing at 59 and weighing around 190 pounds, he's a versatile corner who can line up both inside and outside, providing the Giants with much-needed flexibility in their coverage schemes. His PFF grade of 84, 2 over his career is solid, and in the current season, he's been impactful. Up until September 15th, McCreary had accumulated 42 tackles, 6 pass deflections, and 2 interceptions. His coverage grade of 85. 6 is impressive, and his EPA per target of -0. 32 indicates he's very effective at limiting opposing offenses. He's also shown an ability to make plays in both pass coverage and run support, with 4 tackles for loss this season and a run support win rate of 38%. Over his career, he's amassed 180 tackles, 8 interceptions, and 22 pass deflections, forcing about 1.4 turnovers per game. That's exactly the kind of playmaking talent the Giants need to elevate their secondary. What's more, McCreary's injury history isn't a red flag. He suffered a shoulder injury in Week 4, limiting his snaps to just 68%, but he bounced back strongly in Week 6, recording 8 tackles and an interception. His performance after returning from injury shows resilience and a high football IQ. The move to acquire him also echoes the recent trade of Patrick Surtain by the Denver Broncos, which resulted in a +10 turnover differential in 2024. The Giants are bringing in a player who can help create turnovers, which is one of the most critical aspects of winning games in today's NFL. Adding McCreary boosts their chances of forcing errors, especially in a division where every possession matters. Now, let's analyze the Titans' perspective. They're currently 1-6, and their defense has been underperforming. Their pass rush, averaging just 3.6 sacks per game, has been inconsistent, and their secondary, which includes McCreary, has been leaking yards, allowing roughly 250 yards through the air per game. The Titans are clearly in a rebuild phase, and trading away McCreary not only frees up cap space, around $9 million, helping them manage their finances better, but also sets the stage for a broader rebuild. They're looking ahead to 2026, with McCreary's contract weighing in at around $35 million, including a cap hit of $10 million in 2026. This trade also clears some space to potentially sign or bring in other pieces, like Jeffrey Simmons, by freeing up about $9 million in cap space. It's a strategic move for Tennessee, who's clearly prioritizing future flexibility over short-term success. But let's turn our attention back to the Giants and what this means for them. Adding McCreary to their defensive scheme is a significant upgrade. The secondary, which has been a concern this season, especially after losing players like Chidobe Awuzie to injury, and with others like Johnson being questionable, now gets a boost. McCreary's versatility allows the Giants to deploy him in multiple roles, whether in the slot or outside, adding depth and stability. His ability to cover effectively and make plays can help turn the tide in close games, which the Giants have struggled with at times. The projections show that with McCreary on board, the Giants could see an increase of around 7 turnovers over the course of the season. That's a huge boost in a league where turnovers often decide the outcome of games. Statistically, McCreary's addition is projected to boost the Giants' defensive efficiency by around 16%, especially in coverage, where he can force turnovers at an increased rate, up by about 18%. His impact is comparable to some of the best cornerbacks in the league, like Darius Slay, especially in terms of tackling success rate, which is around 86%. He's also excellent at breaking up passes, his pass deflection rate of about 1.2 per game is a key metric for a corner expected to challenge receivers and make plays when it counts. The Giants' coaching staff will likely use him both in the slot and on the perimeter, creating mismatches and confusing offenses. His ability to excel in these roles will be crucial, especially against divisional rivals and in high-stakes games. Looking ahead to the potential playoff push, McCreary's arrival could be the X-factor that propels the Giants into the postseason. The odds for the Giants to win the Super Bowl, which were at plus 15-0 earlier in the season, could very well improve to plus 7,500 with this kind of defensive upgrade. Especially considering the projected increase in turnovers and overall defensive efficiency, the Giants are positioning themselves as serious contenders. The matchup scenarios look promising too. Think about how McCreary could influence games against teams like the Commanders, or even in matchups where his ability to limit big plays could be the difference between a win and a loss. His history of making plays in critical moments, such as against the Vikings where he limited passes to an average of 7.5 yards per pass, shows he can be a game changer. And it's not just about individual stats, it's about the overall team chemistry and confidence. With McCreary anchoring the secondary, the defense can focus more on aggressive coverage schemes and forcing turnovers, which is exactly what they need to compete at the highest level. The coaching staff can now design more complex schemes, knowing they have a versatile player like him who can adapt quickly and make an impact. The Giants' front seven, led by players like Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeaux, is already formidable, but adding a playmaker in the secondary elevates the entire unit. It turns the defense from a decent group into a real threat to shut down top offenses in the league. Of course, there are always skeptics, especially when it comes to injuries and the integration of new players mid-season. Some analysts point out that McCreary's injury history, particularly the shoulder injury earlier this season, could limit his snaps initially. But if he stays healthy, the potential upside is enormous. The Giants' coaching staff has a track record of developing players and maximizing their strengths. This move also sends a message to the rest of the league. The Giants are not just content with mediocrity, they're making bold moves to contend seriously. In terms of the division, this trade puts even more pressure on teams like the Eagles and Cowboys. The Eagles, with their dominant defense and aggressive offense, are still favorites, but the Giants are quietly closing the gap. The Cowboys, who have had ups and downs, now have to worry about a secondary that's been reinforced with a player who can turn the tide in key moments. It's a chess game, and this move by the Giants could be the checkmate they need to push toward the playoffs and beyond. Remember, this is a team that just a few seasons ago was struggling to find consistency. Now, with strategic moves like this, they're building a roster capable of making a deep run. Looking at the historical context, the Giants have always been a team that fights hard, especially when they have a strong defense and a capable quarterback. Daniel Jones has been improving each week, and with a secondary led by McCreary, the team can focus more on developing their offensive rhythm without constantly worrying about giving up big plays. The potential for the Giants to notch at least 7 additional wins this season is very real, especially with a defense that can create turnovers and set up their offense with better field position. This is exactly the kind of boost that can turn a team from just a playoff contender into a legitimate Super Bowl threat. In conclusion, this trade is more than just a transaction. It's a statement of intent from the Giants' front office. They're serious about competing now and building a defense that can stand toe-to-toe with the best in the league. McCreary's addition as a versatile playmaking cornerback can help them achieve that goal, especially in an NFC where the competition is fierce but winnable. The future looks bright, and the Giants are positioning themselves as a team to watch in the coming months. For fans, it's an exciting time, watching your team make bold moves and setting themselves up for a potential deep playoff run. So stay tuned, because with McCreary now in the fold, the Giants might just have the secret weapon they need to reach the Super Bowl once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move? Do you believe McCreary is the missing piece to push the Giants over the edge? How do you see his impact shaping the rest of the season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. Remember, this is a team that's always fought hard and has a rich history of overcoming odds. And with this latest move, they're showing everyone that they're still in the fight. I'll be back soon with more updates, deeper analysis, and all the latest news, so stay tuned for everything you need to know about the New York Giants. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the passion alive.